this kind of attitude, this kind of anti-constitutional stand that will be taken, anybody, either the government of India or anybody for that matter, people are the masters and people are supreme in this country. They must know it. Male vanakkam. மக்கள் மந்தில் குடியிருக்கும் முதல்வர் respected Thiru Stalin, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu State, the young and energetic Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin, the author of a great book on NEP, Madhyani Anbil, Mahesh, Poemoji, respected Honorable Mr. Digvijay Singh, the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh State, the Chairman of Parliamentary Committee of Education, just now delivered his speech, Mr. Dr. Mailaswamy Annadurai, number of cabinet ministers who are in the audience, the honorable parliament members of Tamil Nadu, my good old friend, Ms. N. Ram, we were together in the Students' Federation of India. Mr. Wilson, the senior advocate who is responsible for my coming to this function. Large number of my young and energetic youth who are present in this great hall. My loud, affectionate children who are in large number. You are all in the heart of the Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, and the Education Minister. At the outset, I must congratulate Mr. Anbil Mahesh Poemoji for having authored this book today, which has been launched by Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Stalin. This is an eye-opener in the entire country today, which is required to be debated, discussed, and take forward to oppose this national education policy in India, which has been formulated in the year 2020, ignoring the federal feature of the Constitution, the important role to be played by the state governments in India. Yes, under Article 246, in the year 1976, the entry 25 has been shifted to the concurrent list number 3 of the Schedule 7. Nonetheless, the state governments have got a say in the matter regarding the education, having regard to the historical judgment rendered by the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court of India in the case of Unikrishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh, reported in 1993, even SSC page 645. In this epoch-making judgment, the Honorable Supreme Court of India held that this elementary education is a fundamental right. In respect of the right to education, the contents and parameters is to be determined considering Articles 41, 45 and 46 of the directive principles of the state policy, which are supplemental to the fundamental rights guaranteed under Part 3 of the Constitution of India. the judge-made law, the interpretation of the constitutional scheme, the constitutional philosophy and the concept of the Constitution of India, a great political document as declared by the Supreme Court of India way back in the year 1994 in S.R. Bommai versus the Union of India. Article 21 was inserted to the Constitution in the year 2002, wherein the Supreme Court, by inserting this Article 21 capital A to the Constitution of India, it provides free and compulsory education to all children of this great country who are going to take over the reins of the power of this country, to make them as responsible citizenry of this country. Ignoring the constitutional philosophy, the pluralism, the cultural values, the concept of social justice, which is the basic feature of the Constitution, as held by the Supreme Court way back in 1973 in Keshavananda Bharati's case, 13-judge constitutional bench, the social justice is the basic structure of the Constitution. Nobody shall be allowed, including the Parliament, which has got a limited power under Article 368, to amend the Constitution. When they cannot amend the Constitution, the constitutional values of culturalism, the pluralism, and the social justice concept cannot be bulldozed by incorporating non-acceptable, opposed to the people of this country, national education policy, which does not serve the purpose of the constitutional philosophy. Therefore, at this juncture, I have to congratulate the author, the Honorable Minister, who has got commitment, who has got a creativity, who has got a tremendous rich legacy. His grandfather was a politician, father was a politician, and the son is also a grandson is also a politician working under the leadership of Chief Minister Stalin. I must also congratulate the Honorable Chief Minister Stalin, who is tall in the Indian politics today, and he is the instrumental in rendering epoch-making historical judgment in the recent judgment of Supreme Court rendered by Supreme Court of India, State of Tamil Nadu versus Union of India. It will be in the history of this constitutionalism, constitutional democracy, where the Constitution says, on the advice of the Council of Ministers, if a bill is passed by the State Legislative Assembly, it is the constitutional function of a governor and the President of India to sign the bill and approve the bill. That is the mandate of the people. It is not the legislature is supreme. It is not the judiciary is supreme. It is not the executive supreme. It is the people of the country are supreme and sovereign. It is the people mandate is given to the state legislature who form the government. They are answerable, accountable. They are elected representatives of the people. It is the duty as the head of the Constitution, the governor, who is a nominee of the President of India under the Constitution. It is his duty to sign, approve the bills, and Supreme Court has recognized this, the consistent view taken and the adamant attitude of the governors, who is required to function and govern the people under the Constitution of India, keeping the bills for 2 years, 1.5 years, making the elected government not to function, not to govern the people of this country, has been taught a lesson by the Supreme Court under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Not only for this I must congratulate, I must also congratulate him. He has got the courage and the conviction to stand up and say to the government of India, on the basis of the population, delimitation, reducing the size of the parliament member will not allow. He has given the lead. I hope and trust he will further take forward to give the leadership in the national level. That will happen in this country. My dear friends, coming to the topic, what is this NEP? National Education Policy? National Education Policy can be run contrary to the cultural values of the people, cultural values and the social fabric of the people. What is this policy? This policy is contrary to 1968 policy. This policy is contrary to 1986 under the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi has formulated the policy. 86 para 3.1 of education policy, it says the Constitution embodies the principles on which the national system of education is conceived of. The concept of national system of education implies that up to a given level, all students, irrespective of caste, the creed, location, or sex, have access to education of a comparable quality. To achieve this, the government will initiate appropriately funded programs. Effective measures will be taken in the direction of common school system recommended in the year 1968 policy at para 3.2. This national education policy, without taking the state governments of the Union of India, where the Supreme Court in Bombai's case had declared the law, the federal feature of the Constitution is once again the basic structure of the Constitution of India. Can you meddle with this? What is your authority? If the Supreme Court says, 9-judge bench Supreme Court says, Constitution bench, that it is the basic structure of the Constitution, state are empowered, state has got a constitutional duty, constitutional function to educate the children in the respective states and union territory by framing the policy, to inculcate education, to educate them, to make the knowledge society, to bring them to the mainstream of the society, to make them responsible citizenry, to govern the people of this country. You cannot, shall not meddle with that right under the executive policy which is framed under the national education policy, which is opposed to the common man, opposed to the rural folk, opposed to the tribal. It oppresses, further oppresses the oppressed class of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, backward class of people of this country. Can we allow this to operate? Is the question before us. That's why I am standing before you as a former judge of the Supreme Court. I have got a duty to tell the people the policy which is opposed to the Constitution, opposed to the constitutional values, opposed to the social justice concept. We must tooth and nail oppose this national education policy, not to implement, not to allow implement. The Tamil Nadu state government has got the courage and conviction to say to the government of India that your policy we will not implement. Your need we will not allow. This is what is this? Can you compare a child in a tribal area, in a Karur, in Tirunelveli, that of Delhi, people who are enlightened, who are from a cream of the society, you are conducting examination of NEET, participating it to get a seat in medical college, get a seat in a super specialty, or get a seat in post-graduation, compare and compete with the students of the elite class of the society. Is it permissible? Can we allow this to happen? That's not permissible. My dear friends, this NEP is a threat to the three-language formula, which is a a Trojan horse for Hindi imposition. Tamil Nadu has fighting for the last decades, right from 1937, 1965, to resist the imposition of Hindi. Two-language formula has been followed in Tamil Nadu, namely Tamil and English, has served well up till now. How can you impose? NAP pushes so-called flexible three-language formula. In reality, it coerces non-Hindi states to adopt Hindi, while Hindi-speaking states face no obligation to learn Tamil or any other southern languages. This is linguistic injustice. Why should our children be forced to learn Hindi? Why should our identity be compromised for a so-called national integration that is linguistically one-sided? Let me say it clearly. In Tamil Nadu, it has rejected three-language formula. We reject a veiled imposition of Hindi. We reject linguistic domination. Threat to Tamil language and culture. Tamil is not a language. It is one of the world's oldest living classical language with a literacy, philosophical, scientific tradition unmatched in its richness. Yet NAP 2020 places disproportionate emphasis on Sanskrit while giving token memory mentions to Tamil. Where is the recognition of Sangam literature, the Siddha medicine, of the rationalist philosophies of our ancestors? This policy promotes a Sanskritized and Dravidian culture is either marginalized or erased. That is not inclusive nationalism. That is cultural erosion, and we cannot be silent about it. Hindutva agenda and communal curriculum. Let us look at curriculum changes already underway. The mythology is being presented as history. Pseudoscience is entering science textbooks. Ancient Hindu texts are glorified, while Buddhist, Islamic, Christian, and tribal constitution are ignored. This is not education. It is ideological indoctrination which will not permit to happen in this country. NAP 2020 uses the term like Bharatiya knowledge systems to push a Hindutva-centric worldview, narrow, exclusionary, and majoritarianism. India's strength lies in its pluralism and secularism. This policy threatens both betrayal of social justice. Let us now talk about equality and access to the education. Tamil Nadu is a pioneer in using education to uplift marginalized communities through affirmative action. But NEP 2020 lacks of merit, of private partnerships, of autonomy, all code words for replacing public education with elite privatized systems. Reservation policies are weakened. Entry into good institutions will depend more on fees and privilege than equity and justice. What happens to the first generation Dalit learner from Dharmapuri? What happens to the girl from a tribal village in Nilgiris? they are pushed to the margins. This is not reform, it is a regression. We shall oppose and see that it should be defeated. Tamil Nadu's resistance, a beacon hope. Tamil Nadu, we have always resisted central impositions. Whether it was Hindi in 1965 or NEET in recent years, our people have stood firm opposing this anti-people, anti-cultural policy of national education. Let us honor that legacy. You must oppose national education policy of 2020, not out of blind opposition, but out of constitutional duty. Let us demand a policy that respects state autonomy. This is a federal feature of the Constitution. A curriculum that promotes scientific temper is the fundamental duty enshrined in Part 4A of the Constitution of India. A structure that guarantees social justice is the basic structure of the Constitution after 78 years of the independent India, 77 years of Republic of India. Our villages, our women, our workers, our youth are unemployed, the backward class, oppressed and suppressed class, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people are still under poverty. There is no one meal for a day. That is the position. You must think of that section of the society, but not the corporate sector, but not the people who are the exploiting the majority people who are living in the rural India of this country. We must tooth and nail oppose this national education policy. On this occasion, I once again congratulate the Education Minister Anbil Mahesh Poimoji, who is a trusted soldier for Stalin, the Chief Minister of this country. I am appealing on behalf of the countrymen of this great country that Stalin incessantly must wage a war against this NEP and also to see that autocratic, the policies, the dictator role and reducing the parliament strength of South India shall not be allowed. You will be the beacon light and leader of this great country. I wish you all the best for you. Thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity. I wish each one of you all the success, good health, I don't say prosperity, good health, live happily, strengthen the hands of Stalin and his cabinet minister to fight this autocratic and the fascist government, to defeat and to govern the people of this country under the Constitution of India. The governors has been taught lesson by historical judgment, which will remain there. The reference which has been made cannot be answered, need not be answered. The judgment is binding. Binding, the remedy is only review on the curative petition. There are instances where reference is made under Article 143 by the President of India, where the judgment binds not only the parties, binds the President of India, the Chief Justice, Supreme Court judges, and the people of this country. What is the reference? 2012 reference is not answered. In Ram Janmabhoomi case, reference is not answered. Why this reference? You have to implement it, is binding on you. You cannot make a reference under Article 143. So this, I think, people will realize, people will come forward in large number. The masses come together to teach the lesson. This kind of attitude, this kind of anti-constitutional stand that will be taken, anybody, either the government of India or anybody for that matter, people are the masters and people are supreme in this country. They must know it. Thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity.